Hello, geometry students. Welcome back to another edition of your geometry notes. Remember, please write down everything I write down. It should be in your journal, and don't forget to fill out your WSQ. These notes are titled Notes 5-1 Slope-Intercept Form, and you might be saying to yourself, I know slope-intercept form, I saw it last year. Or you're saying to yourself, I don't know slope-intercept form. Or you're saying to yourself, I know slope-intercept form, but I forgot how to do it. Well, if you're in any three of those categories, these notes are for you. First off, you should have seen slope-intercept form a lot last year in algebra. And the direction we're taking these notes, the direction we always take lines and points on a graph are to involve mostly with parallel and perpendicular lines. We've seen that a lot so far in geometry. And that's the level that we add to what you've already seen in algebra, is making these parallel and perpendicular. But first, we want to go over everything we know about slope-intercept form and how we can use them. All right? So first thing is we have the actual slope-intercept form. Again, you've seen this in algebra. There's two things, y equals mx plus b. The first thing we know is that this m stands for the slope. All right? And the b stands for the y-intercept. So two things that are given that equation, the slope and the y-intercept. If I know the slope and the y-intercept, I can always write it in this equation. The y and the x just stay there. They stay in the equation. You don't put any numbers for them. Okay? And also, the slope is just the m letter, or just the m number. The slope is not the mx. So when you write your slope, like slope, let's say for example, some people see it right, the slope is 3x, because that x is with it. No, it's not. The slope would just be 3, because that's the number that's in front of the m, for example. So let's get to our first example. Write the equation in slope-intercept form and identify the slope and the y-intercept of these equations. First off, we can see this is not in slope-intercept form. To be in slope-intercept form, they must have the y by itself, so y equals mx plus b. This y here is what we're trying to isolate. So basically, the purpose of getting something into slope-intercept form is to get the y by itself. I can solve this equation just like I would solve any other equation for a certain thing. This one I'm just having to solve for y. So let's get started. I want to get this, leave this y here. Notice there's a 3x over here. They got the barrier going. I want to subtract that 3x to the other side of the equation, so it cancels out there. I'm left with negative 2y equals, I've got 16 minus 3x. I cannot combine those things. They need to stay separate. And in my form, y equals mx plus b, the mx comes first, so I'm going to put that first. So I got negative 2y equals negative 3x, and it's a positive 16. Keep solving for y. Right now, y is not by itself. Last thing is to divide by negative 2, and I divide the whole entire equation by negative 2. That reduces down to just y, so y equals, and negative 3 divided by negative 2, I cannot simplify it to a whole number by itself, but it stays positive 3 over 2. A negative divided by negative is a positive, and 3 divided by 2 is just 3 divided by 2. The x stays there. Then I've got plus. Now 16 divided by negative 2 is going to be a negative 8. So I could just rewrite that as 3 over 2x minus 8. All right? So when I have that from that, I know my slope is this number here. It's a positive 3 over 2. And then my y-intercept, abbreviated y-int, is going to be the negative 8. All right, two things that I can pull from that equation. Let's do it again. Pause the video, see if you can get this equation into slope-intercept form. Then replay the video and watch as we do it together, see if you were correct. I want to get the y by itself, so draw our barrier there. Leave the 3y there. I have a negative 6x, so add 6x. Add 6x. Cross out there. I've got 3y equals, I cannot combine a number and then a number with an x. It's like adding apples and oranges. If I have one apple and one orange, I do not end up with two oranges, right? I still have one apple and one orange. They're still separate. In the equation, the x comes first, so write that first. And then I got to divide by 3. Divide everything by 3 if you guys want to write just under every number, divide by 3, or like my previous example, divide the whole equation by the thing. Just note you're going to do every number you can. That reduces to just y equals, and I've got 6 divided by 3, that reduces to 2, and put that x there, plus 1 divided by 3 stays 1 divided by 3. Then in my equation, here is my slope, and then here is 1/3 is my y-intercept. Hopefully you got that. Let's move on. Next, example 2 says graph the equation of the line. We actually want to graph this. Make sure you read your directions so we know what's going on. Sometimes on tests it says graph the equation of the line. People might solve it for y, but then not actually graph it. Read your directions. So I have y equals 2 over 7x plus 5. Two things I know. Here is my slope. I'll do a different color for my y-intercept. Okay. Where do I start? How do I graph this? I can't really start with my slope, 2 over 7, because I don't know where to start. I start at the y-intercept. Right? On the y-axis here, the y-intercept is 5. So count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So put a dot there. And then my slope is 2 over 7. That stands for rise 2, run 7. So I rise 2, 1, 2. Then I run 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put a dot there, and then between any 2 points I can create a line, so I could draw a line there. But what I like to do when I'm graphing the equation is also go backwards, alright? If I rise 2, run 7, I can also drop 2, and then go backwards 7, that's going to be the same thing, so go down 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I have 3 points. It kind of helps to see the line's going to go through all 3 of those, and this computer program is very hard to draw a straight line with. But there you go. There's the equation graphed of my y equals 2 sevenths x plus 5. Pause the video, see if you can write the equation for this part B. Come back and let's do it together. Example 3, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Now again, when you're drawing these graphs in your notes, they do not have to look super intricate with all the lines drawn and everything like that, but I do want to have a picture of them drawn, label the y-intercepts, and then also what's going on here. And as I mark on the graph, you mark on the graph. So this time we are writing the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. 2 things I need for slope-intercept form. What are they? Quick quiz. I need my slope and my y-intercept. Right? So I can first get my slope. From point to point, I can count it out. Or I have my coordinates, I can use my slope formula, but if it's on a graph, it's easier to count it. So there's my line, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so my slope is 4 over 7. My y-intercept clearly is right there. It's 4. So I can write it in my form, y equals mx plus b, with my slope and all that stuff. So I have my equation, y equals 4 over 7 x plus my y-intercept, 4. So there's example 3, the first one. Pause the video, see if you can write the equation for this part B. Come back and let's do it together. 2 things I need, slope. And I'm going to abbreviate my slope with cursive M, that stands for slope. On your formula chart, it has the M there. My slope, I go down 1 and then to the right 2, so that's a -1 and 2. So -1 over 2 is my slope. And my y-intercept is here at 1, and my y-intercept in the equation is b, so my b is +1. So I can write the equation y equals -1/2 x plus 1. There's my equation. And I also want to make another point. If there was anything in this video you did not understand, please go back and rewatch it. The purpose of these videos is not just, hey, I watched the videos. It's to understand what these videos show you so that you can do them once we get to class. If there's a specific thing that I went too fast on, if there's something you didn't quite understand, watch it again. Make sure you understand at least what I'm talking about in this video so that when you get to class you can do it yourself. Or once you watch it again, if you still have questions, please ask that on the WSQ and make sure I answered in class. Come talk to me, say this was confusing on the video, something like that. All right, please make these for your benefit. Make sure you fill out the WSQ. Have a great day.